Hey there, how's it going? Welcome back for another ASMR video. Today we're going to be doing another Overwatch VOD review, and we're going to be focusing on the character Sombra. So, I want to first of all thank Toby for sending this in. He's a fan of or part of the family here at the channel, and he sent in this gameplay, and so we're going to just take a look and see if there's some things we can learn together, and if there's any ways to just help him improve. Sombra is one of those really important characters who, she's very ability focused. She doesn't put out raw damage or things like that, like a McCree might or a Junkrat. But her EMP is one of the most powerful in the entire game. So I want you to slow down for a second and just start with the basics. So, the most important thing to remember is the acronym FADS. FADS stands for Farm, Assassinate, Disrupt, and Stall. And these are really the central key components of being a good Sombra player. I think you need to decide if you want to play with your team, if you want to play around one DPS or one healer and really enable them. Or you could play on the flank and take out Zenyatas and Anas and things of that nature. So I think you need to determine your positioning. You need to determine, and then you need to determine based on FADs what you should do. So with Sombra, your goal is to be building up your ult. So that's farming. That's the most important thing because EMP is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful, ultimate in the game. So remembering all that, that's going to determine what kind of decisions we're going to make. The issue with Sombra is that she doesn't put out as much damage as some of the other DPS characters, but with that ability, EMP, and hacking, she can really turn the tide of a match. So, I recommend her mostly above Diamond rank, mostly because that's when some of these callouts can matter more. So we're going to delve a little bit more into each of those concepts as we watch your playstyle. But essentially, you're farming your ult, you're assassinating back targets, you're disrupting certain players and hacking the main tanks. And you're also stalling the point because, again, you can translocate and get in and out of fights fairly easily. So those are the main points about Sombra before we dive into it. And again, I want to give credit, like I said, to GANGSIR on Reddit, just because I thought his post, I'll link it in the description below, but I thought it was really well summed up, and this acronym actually was coined by that author, so I think that's important to state. So with that all said, let's go ahead and dive into the match. Okay, so we've got our match loaded up, and what we have here is Sombra, D.Va, Genji, Ana, Moira, and Sigma. And that's on your team. We have Mercy, Reinhardt, Sombra, Hanzo, Zarya, and an unknown. So I think it's super important just to say when you're choosing Sombra, you need to be looking at the characters you can combine with. So you're sort of thinking about where you're going to position yourself and, what your main focus is going to be. So, for example, you probably could play with the Genji and help him kind of pick off the backline by hacking his targets. Or on the backline, the Ana, you could actually play defensively and hack targets attacking your Ana. So, we're moving in. A little bit aggressive here. I think the positioning was a bit off. I probably would have stayed with my team in that instance on the initial fight. I definitely would be. So, as you can see here, we probably want to get that main mega health pack hacked. That's going to be in a battle with the Sombra, especially with the mega health pack nearby. You're going to want to win that battle, and that, I think right there before you should have gone straight for that hack. Okay, this is a decent pressure, although I think you've lost this fight. Again, Sombra's DPS is a bit weak. You are playing her well, and that you're going in and out. That is good. Not dying is, of course, the best thing you can do. Okay, here we go. So I wouldn't push in here. Your team is a little bit behind. Good ult charge on that Rhine. Okay, so now wait for your team. They look like they're in position. Okay. So right here, no one's hacked that Mega over there. Unfortunately, I think that would have been really important to do early on. So again, a good hack on the Sombra. I might have finished off that Mercy. You were pretty close. So right there, you were. Let's go back just a little bit. You were kind of exposed to this Hanzo here. We can see him. He sees you. And this Hanzo could have gotten a shot off on you. And so I think you might have wanted to, again, go around back, maybe play a more flanking position. This would have forced your team to, or the other team to spread thin, and it would have given you the advantage moving in. Moving in, good. That was a decent EMP. I'm not sure it was necessary. You did already have a pick. I think you could have just gotten away with the hack, actually. Okay, so. Alright, well done so far. Good pressure. That was a bubble there. I would have probably held off on spraying your ammo. Definitely hack this Mega here. So I'm definitely seeing something, a little bit lack of healthy, hacking certain health packs. I really like to be, personally, quite aggressive with hacking their health packs, like the one over there with that Mega you avoided. I think it can really help out your positioning quite a bit. Alright, good high ground positioning. Looks like your team unfortunately got wiped. There's not a lot you could have done there at all. Good pressure on the Ana. So I like this positioning here. Puts you in a flanking position. That's really well done. Okay. So go ahead and reset with our team. Be careful here. They've definitely, Hanzo could have put an arrow there. I gotta be careful with that. I'm not sure about that. That was pretty risky, especially they had a heal boost in your. So one thing with Sombra is the damage is kind of low. So if there's just any heals on the target you're flanking like that, I would try to get out of there. Yeah, that was a decent try though. Okay, so see again there, Mercy just kind of healed through it. I might have just went ahead and directly put pressure on the Mercy. So I think there's two things here that we can see so far. Just getting these health packs hacked, especially aggressively on the enemy, and target prioritization. I think that's, I think let's just take a step back here, because I think if you're going to flank sometimes with Sombra, you're setting up a play maybe of like 10, 15 seconds to go line up the right target. You're maybe battling them, building up some ult, translocating, running back. Ultimately, you're running like 30-second intervals for some of these moves. So you want to be really careful about which target you're choosing. Okay, like that was perfect example. I would get out there. Looks like Hanzo lost focus. But you lost the fight, unfortunately. That was not necessarily your fault there. Now, I think here, what could have helped maybe is play more. You did some flanks. It would be interesting to see how the Sombra would work, running with your team a little more tightly. I think you kind of did a hybrid, which is pretty interesting. There was just some small details. Most importantly, I think the hacking of health packs needs to be a little more definitive. Your aim wasn't terrible. I did see a little waffling on the aim. It might be worth looking at the sensitivity. I'd be curious what your sensitivity is. I think you could have put a little more pressure on the Ana and also the Mercy, really. I didn't see too much of the Ana, but I think if you set up a little bit more behind her and just constantly put pressure, she's not going to have time to aim for her team. So that's one thing I would focus on. Your EMP was okay. EMPs, I think you had two. I think you could build your farm a little bit better. So again, fads, farm, assassinate, disrupt, and stall. I saw a little stalling. There wasn't a lot you could do there. But again, you want to win the fight, so. Okay, that was a decent flank. Interesting. I think you might get this here. Ah, yeah, good. So the moment, again, you see the healing, you get out of there. That was really well done. You got out as soon as you saw him getting healed. Good pressure. Nice dance moves from the Rhine. So, again, yeah, push that Mercy. Well done. So this is, again, you were kind of more with your team there. So I think that kind of worked a little bit better in this particular instance. She'd already hacked that. Again, if you can get to those early, that really puts you in an advantage, especially on certain maps like this one. There's also a mini. That was well done. Good job. There's a mini there on the left, or like straight ahead from you now, that I would hack as well. A lackluster on that hack there. I think that could have made a pretty big impact if you had pulled that hack off. Kind of looks like you're a little confused about what you should be doing here, just in terms of strategy. So I probably, again, would, if you're confused about what you should be doing in terms of just strategy and your next move, I think here you could have readjusted the battle itself. And that's kind of one way I like to think about it is, if you see a battle playing out in a certain way, that's your moment to maybe put it on your own terms, make a different maneuver, adjust the way that the map is playing out so that it's more on your terms, and then you can kind of dictate how it goes. So you do see that a person might flank and get a kill, and those kind of maneuvers can really make a huge impact, like especially in a stalemate like that. Good pressure on that McCree. That's one you got to really be careful about him. Okay, looks like you guys are going to wipe this here. That didn't, unfortunately, hold. Or that translocator fell off. I would get out of here because I think you're going to... This is a good stall. I wouldn't have used that there. So I think your EMPs are a bit lacking. I would think that's an area where you could really improve. Okay, so let's hopefully get our team reorganized here. Okay, so the canopy, yep, that's a really important health pack to get on this map. Look, definitely check to see if they, yep, good job there. That's really important right there. That's a very strong hack. If you can live here, this would be crucial. Well done. Your Mercy was kind of a bad res from their Mercy. Alright. I don't like that translocator spot. I think it's a little too obvious. Especially because the Sombra could just sit up there and wait for you to go. They also have... that was well done. Okay, so we're just putting pressure on their Sombra. Really well done. Excellent. I don't like that translocator up there. I think it's a little too obvious there. But hold off again on that. I think you could have put it maybe a little bit more back towards your spawn. I think just... It puts you close by, but their Sombra could easily wait there and kill you. Alright. Looks like you're very wasted in their ult there. Okay, so you want to definitely reset here. You've got your EMP, so one fight and you win this. So basically your ult wins this match. So let's try to play smart here. Alright. Let's get this last little ult charge here. Definitely want to be thinking about using her ult soon here. Looks like the fight might have been lost here. I might use it. I would use it here. You have an like equal advantage. Alright, so you can wait till next fight. Okay. Again, I think your ult usage definitely needs a little work, though. That's probably my biggest area of criticism. Alright. So let's try to win this fight. It looks like you're really staggered. Good hack on that, Ryan. Okay, so that was unfortunate. Again, I think that's like I can sense the anxiety. So you're just kind of panic ulting. You're not ulting on your terms, if that makes sense. You're sort of reacting, and I think that you could do a little better job with those. But you still won that round. I think one more air would have lost that fight. Not necessarily from you, but it got a little close for comfort. So, all right, so we're going to begin this last round. But I think some things you did well. Your aim is pretty good. I think you're getting some decent positioning here. I think one of the my biggest complaint is really just your ultimate usage. I think it needs a little more, just less reactionary and more firmly in your control. Again, I think some coordination with your team could help here. I can't hear the voice callouts, but I think when you are a Sombra, you especially diamond and above, where it really matters, you want to be in the voice chat making callouts to when you're going to use your EMP, because one thing you don't know is, or maybe you do know, but Sombra has quite a low win rate until Masters area. Even in GM, it's quite tough because the DPS output isn't that great, and you really need amazing team callouts. I highly recommend the streamer Fitzy if you're diamond and above for some great strategies with Sombra. In lower ranks, she's really not that viable unless you're amazing. Just because, again, she requires a lot of team coordination. So it was a good hack there. Good job staying alive. I like that. Can we get the sphere? Yep, that was great. Roadhog, again, the Roadhog is one of those characters you're going to want to try to stay away from. He's great if you want to build an ult charge, but again, you pop out of your stealth, and he's probably going to get you. That looks like you have control of this match right now. Great job, not a little punch in the back, maybe. You almost got a cool little flank there. I would not go for that Roadhog. Okay, so that's good countering on that Sombra. Looks like you may have lost this particular fight here. More looks like they're using their ult. And again, I would really good job on keeping that Sombra occupied. Alright, it's a good hack there. Again, that was good that you got out on time. That was a good pick through the little area there. This is a great map to stall here. Perfect time to practice the S in the fads. Sombra can do a really strong hold here. That EMP, again, yeah, I was about to say that was a very questionable EMP. So I think we can see, like, you're really strong in a lot of areas. So of fads, your S is great. Your farming of ults is okay. Your use of the ult is not so great. Your assassinate needs a little work. Disruption, you've done a pretty good job on that. So of the 4 letters, 2 of them you need a little work on, and 2 of them you're doing pretty well. Okay, here we are. Oh, the Sombra sort of walked in your fire there. Good, that was a good escape there. I don't know if they saw you, but alright, try to avoid this hog if you can. I know it's tempting to get the charge, but great job on that fair. That was really well done. Excellent. Alright, be careful. there's the hog there. Careful, he's gonna hook you. Yeah, you gotta be careful with hog. It feels so good to connect with him and get ult charge, but he probably won't die and he might get a hook off and kill you. So in that instance, you definitely want to be careful. Now their Lucio and Sombras are stalling quite aggressively. Get that hack off. Nice. Punch. A little bit quicker on that punch, if you can. This looks like the end here. Last fight. It's alright, so let's get the hack on this ball. Again, Hamster is like #1 target to hack always. He's so important because you're the direct counter and you can get a ton of ult charge. Excellent job. Let's get this last EMP. Alright, so that EMP looks like it. Unfortunately, it still didn't really get the job done. So you're having bad luck with your EMPs, but wait for this Tracer to come around and hack. Excellent. Really well done. Alright, that was a really great match. Thank you so much for sending that in. I think we can see some really obvious areas for improvement and some really strong areas. You really need to work on the first 2 letters of the acronym, farming and assassinations. Didn't see a lot of great picks. Your ult generation was a bit slow. A really good Sombra can get their EMP every fight or every fight and a half. So I think you're a bit lacking there. But your disruption was great. You were countering the other Sombra really, really well. And you were stalling quite well. I think your deployment, just the way that you utilize your translocate, which targets you're choosing, and taking that extra moment to breathe and choose the right target. With all that, you can get better ult generation. And in terms of using the ult, I think that's something that comes with communication with your team. I couldn't hear if you were in the voice chat, but so again, I really see a lot of room for improvement, a lot of room for growth. I see a lot of things you're good at, and I think with those changes, it can really elevate your gameplay. I think those are your main areas. Again, I think the ultimate thing is pretty big, but that said, I think really focusing on the generation so at least you have more ults to use and better communication will really help you. So with that all said, thank you so much for sending this in, and I hope that you have a good one. Thank you, Toby. Thank you, everybody else. Have a great one. See you next time.